Welcome back to the Reality Guys. I'm your host, Billy Blinks, joined as always by my co-host, Brian.
What's going on, everybody?
As you can see here in the title, this is week 2 now of us doing our nice double pack for the week. This is going to be the challenge and survivor coverage for this week. The challenge council, I think, is what I'm going to go with right now as the working title. It'll probably change a bunch of times, but for now, we are going to combine our challenge and survivor coverage. So part 1 will be the challenge ride or dies. This is episode 7. This was entitled Deep Web, and then you will get the survivor. Survivor 43. This is week 10 for survivor, which you will get as well in part 2. We will timestamp it in the description so you can see the jump. So episode 7, Deep Web. Now that refers to the title of the actual elimination challenge at the end of the episode. However, the Deep Web is also kind of a web of alliances, a web of the social game that's spoken about by many members. Nelson even refers to himself at one point as Spider Nelly T. So there's your web stuff. Spider Nelly T, though, doesn't know how to stick with his own plan. So really, I think what I want to start to focus on, Brian, on this really is the Devon, Jay, Nelson led triumvirate of their teams. And I want to say right off the bat, like I've seen a lot of hate online, but like I don't know why you'd really hate on Jay. I don't think he's really done anything wrong. He's playing the game. I don't know why you'd have any hate for Devon. The dude's trying to play the game. I am so sick and tired of all the veterans who are so upset about having to, God forbid, be nominated to possibly go into an elimination. I'm over it, dude. Like, I'm so over it. So I am all for the gameplay. Did it completely work out how they wanted it to? No, and that's a lot of Nelson's fault, and we'll get to that. But Bri, overall thoughts on just like the dynamic of the season, how it's shaking out? Like, what do you kind of your thoughts of along like what I was talking about?
No, I agree with you. I've always been saying lately, like I don't think the vets they don't play. They're like they rest. They're like resting the starters. Like, and I just that's one of the things I don't like about this show. Like, I know people think it's the greatest show on the planet, but when the people are just skating to get by with BS, like. And like the veteran, like even the pat, it hasn't been that bad this season, but other seasons have been like way worse. Like I think last season was pretty awful about targeting rookies, but I just don't, I don't buy it. Like I'm all for chaos, so like I don't think I agree with you. I don't think Jay's doing anything wrong. He's playing the game, and it's got people upset, and I think that's good for the show. We got all these, especially like another person. Like I have no, like I don't want to hear from Anissa. You're not a winner. Like you like shut up. Same with Nani. Like you're just complaining constantly. Like Johnny Bananas, like he's a little emotional about going in, but like at least he's won. So like I'm like okay, like he's a winner.
I like that you mentioned both Anissa and Nani. Both of them are the ones that are talking all the crap that their partners are going to have to cash, right? Like Jordan's going to have to do all the coverage for Anissa. Like Johnny's going to have to cover for Nani. I've mentioned this before, and again, people have given me some feedback, whatever. I don't really care. Like, I feel bad, Nani. Like, obviously, like, mom passed away. It's one of the worst things in the world, lose a parent. But this, like, Don Corleone crap she's been pulling, like the threatening in the interrogation and the walk off, like, it's all I got to say. Like, blink, by the way. I know I'm Billy Blinks, but, like, blink your eyes once, dear. Like, chill the F out. You haven't won anything. Stop. Like, stop it. I'm sick of Nani. And Nisa not as bad yet, but like same thing, right? Like you go, what are you doing going up to Jay and just starting the crap talk? What are you just mad because Jordan got made fun of you? And he's like, that's good enough reason as
Yeah,
any
right.
to throw somebody in. I don't like him. He basically called me a bitch, and I didn't like it. You know what? So screw him. Like
Mm.
you're gonna throw me in if you win. So like, why should I give you a week break? Like tough. Like go in every time. You know what I mean? Go in every
Yeah.
damn time if I win.
And after watching this episode, what is the difference between like the way Nani's been acting and like what Turbo is doing?
Nothing.
So like I don't know why people hate on Turbo all the time. Like and they're
Just because
okay
he's
with what Nani's
loud.
doing. Yeah,
It's loud and honestly it's BS, but it's like the language barrier part of it too.
I think Turbo's good for the show. Like I when I was watching it silently in the background, I wanted him to be on like every
I want the anarchy, dude. Same
yeah,
thing with
I think it's
Devon.
good for the
Like, yo,
show.
all them vets, they stood around for 20 minutes after the nomination and they're like, oh, Devon, this is Devon. It's like
Yeah,
tough. Yeah, no crap, it's Devon. None of you like him either. Like none of you are gonna have his back. Like, oh, Devon and Tori are playing the game. It's like, yeah,
that's the
because in
point of the
this game
show.
you got to play the game because you idiots will just slay around and just vote everyone else off to the same 7 of you are left every year.
Yeah.
I don't want to watch anymore. If you want the challenge, get to season 64. These dopes have to eventually get like I want Johnny out week 1. Like I want CT to come and get beat by a rookie. Like I want that. People think I'm crazy, but like I'm sorry guys, you can't like live on the laurels of the past of this show. And it's like even like the fan worship, even some of podcasts and stuff. It's just like the worship for some of these people. I
Yeah.
love them too, but like it's gotta evolve. Like it's gotta. We need. It's like Survivor. Survivor's already the boat's already gone on Survivor, right? Like it's pretty
Mhm.
shot. Like I don't want that to happen to the challenge, but like I don't need Johnny Bananas being the main character 5 years from now. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
and do you really? I don't think just CT doesn't act like these guys do. He kind of just moves in the shadows now.
It's not even with the act. I just mean about like I
No,
need
I
someone
get
to
the
care.
worship,
Like to
the
me,
worshiping
like
at the altar.
the quality of season. Like I'm sorry, dude. Like you said, how the hell does Donnie? They pull the sword twice in a row, the dagger. That's
Yeah,
bullshit.
yeah, yeah. It is. It's it's very fishy when you think
They got to
about.
go. Why? Also, why they get to go first twice in a row?
Yeah, no, I'm just. Hey, I didn't. I
This
just
is
thought
like
of it.
David Stern and Patrick Ewing and the cold packet for him to
Yep.
get the number one.
Get picked by the Knicks.
I, I, I don't know, man.
Let's see how it develops. If they have another one where they are like either their ally pulls it immediately or them but like at the same time, Devon's an idiot. Like they are in they shouldn't even have been in that situation to even speculate that maybe it is fixed because Nelson got blinded by emotion again and he's dumb.
Devin like needs to realize if you try to share any fake or real intel like with Nelson that was going to blow up, he
Yeah.
planted the fake intel in the wrong person's head, in my opinion, because
Yeah.
that person is not going because Nelson, he does the stuff with Nelson, goes right to Amber and Chauncey. He's just set on him. And then his reasoning and like the intent, he's like, time for you to earn your stripes. It's like, dude, we're on week like 7. It is no one cares about that anymore. Like,
Mhm.
that's you got like you kind
Oh,
of
you're
pushed
saying
out.
Nelson saying that?
Yeah, like you
Yeah, it's
pushed
so
out,
bad.
Nelson. Just finish the job.
I agree.
Throw bananas in and finish the job. Like, just do it. Or throw even in. I don't want Jordan to go. I like Jordan, but throw Jordan in then. Like, finish the job. Now, honestly, I think Jordan or bananas team would have won that challenge. So I don't. It was
But
just, it was
it's just the act. It doesn't even
just
matter the
show that
outcome.
you
It's
have some
just the
balls.
act. The
Jay,
act of
if
doing
Jay
it.
goes out next week, Jay will be on every season the next 5 seasons because he's actually shown like I'm playing the game. Like screw you, like that. There's part of that these people don't understand either. Like make moves and you'll be brought back. Like it's
I mean,
not like
maybe it's the survivor in him.
I just think
You know what
it's
I mean?
smart.
I mean, him and Michelle both on Survivor, both playing a different style of game compared to the other people.
Michelle though too, even with Devin with the stupid like confrontation he had with her, like he was wrong to do it because it's a little paranoid. She starts screaming at him.
Yeah, yeah, no, yeah, I agree.
It's like they're
There's
both
nobody
all
right
they're
in this.
all just trying to actively screw themselves. Like
Yeah,
and let one of these vets win because you're just gonna blow each
right.
other up again and just not do it. You have the numbers. You all have the numbers to start. Stop it. Just stop it.
That's why they're vets. I mean, you would think Devin's a vet, but he sometimes goes on those little tirades.
Um, so obviously we mentioned Nelly and Nelly T, they do get the win. Nelson and Nerese do win the weekly challenge, the peaking blinders, balancing the 1 foot if as one partner on the peg. The open the blinds for a puzzle. The other partner had to climb the ladder, be able to see what the puzzle is. Yada yada, run down, repeat it. Not a bad challenge. A little
No, no.
cardio, little
Yeah, I mean, she's good
memorization.
though. I would say that she's like kind of maybe
She's
punching her
smart.
ticket to be back. Yeah.
Smart. She reminds me of Cam in a way. Like,
Mhm.
just good at the challenges.
Can I
Um,
say something before you move on? Like that Anissa said that just royally pissed me off in
yeah,
this
go ahead.
when she's like, "Oh, I don't run. I'm not running," and Jordan was like, "That's like a loser mindset." I was like, "Thank you, like thank you so much." Like, I don't really like Anissa to begin with, but you can't walk. You can't. You're never gonna win.
I don't run.
It's a
The
time challenge.
challenge, the final is going to be like a 10-mile
Yeah.
run, right?
Well, let's be honest. She's not getting there.
Well, no.
She would be like minus 10,000 to make or to not make final.
I'm sorry, but like there was a quote that came out, like Devon was talking about it. He's like, I'm the lead. It was like going into this season of challenge, and he like, mentioned like all of his like basically like his fitness stats, like what he runs his mile, like what his lifting things are. And he's like, and I'm by far the worst like athlete on the challenge. Like, don't underappreciate how like good, how much of a beast everyone is. And I'm like, I commented, I was like, you forgot about Anissa.
Right, yeah.
Like she's the only one who literally I think doesn't do any training like at all and just shows up like, and God bless her, right? Like, dude,
yeah, I know, but at the same time, it's like, what is it? What do you got? You got nothing.
that's why I don't like. I like and then sometimes don't like the forced partnership things, like sink or swim on your own, right? That's why I hate the challenge, the finals, the forced. I would love to see a final where you don't get partnered with somebody, like at any point. Like, stop getting partnered with people. You know what I mean? Stop letting someone else win or lose it for you.
I think it's like the equalizer. It's like the puzzle in Survivor. It's like the thing that brings it down to a level playing field.
Yeah,
but I do like lately, Bill, where they have like you have to be partners with everybody at one point.
Well, that gives
That's
you
fine.
something at
Yeah.
least. Like, you have to be. You shoot your shot early. You think this, I'm going to take Johnny for this one because it's the best, but then you can get screwed later if you thought that was best.
So it's also like thinking, but
really the only thing I said, Amber and Chauncey decision to get thrown in by Nelson Nuri is really stupid. The deep web challenge was climb down up and down a web tower. Kind of looked like an old like McDonald's like play thing.
That was kind of a cool challenge.
I liked it. You had to go all the way down to the bottom, get 8 puzzle pieces, bring them all the way up, and then do a difficult puzzle, which took a while. I've seen some stuff on Twitter, like you can get that actual puzzle on like Amazon. It's like a desk one, and it's apparently a relatively difficult puzzle, actually. Cool. So
add it to the future list.
Yeah, exactly.
We just got to build.
I've seen the thing we're gonna do.
Some old seat belts, and we can make that.
Oh god, it's so funny.
But I really like that Amber would just like shoot down at like Santa Claus in a chimney, but she's just like. I thought that was really cool.
You got to make yourself as thin as possible and shoot down.
You got to also have no ass.
Yeah, God bless Veronica. Got me down.
Yeah, dude.
Too, and she's not like the skinniest person, so like good for her. Like,
yeah, she was shaking and moving.
Again, look, overall, pretty good episode of the season. It just was one of those things that highlights a lot of my frustrations with the series, where it stands with the dynamic of vets versus rookies, and just people just finish the dagger. Like, do it, guys. You know what I mean? Like, but I'm very curious to see how the developments continue next week. If you're just here for our challenge coverage, make sure you like and subscribe. Check out all of our other reality TV coverage. If you're here for the Survivor, that comes up right after the jump right here. And if you're here for both, again, same thing. Just wait for the jump. But for myself and Brian, until Survivor second half, thank you. Peace. Welcome back to the Reality Guys. I'm your host, Billy Blinks, joined as always by my co-host, Brian.
What's up, everybody?
This is part 2 of our challenge and Survivor doubleheader video. This is Survivor 43, episode 10, Get That Money, Baby. Just off the jump, I thought this was a really good episode, to tell you the truth. I thought there was a good amount of camp life. We got to see a lot of strategizing. We got to see all sides of the kind of debate over which of the two to go with, and kind of even those kind of playing the middle. And we'll get to that. 8 players entered this week. We started with, I believe it was night 19. So we're moving. We're getting there quick. Obviously, if we're going to get to 3 for the final, we got only like 5 more eliminations, including tonight. I'm going to kind of run this one down kind of chronologically, make it a little bit easier. This one started off with Carla being frustrated that she was left out of the plan for the vote last week, was filled in by Sammy last minute. Kind of the first time she was left out, has her feeling like she is definitely at the bottom tier of the tribe. Don't think that's a super inaccurate assessment.
I agree. It's the power struggle constantly changing on the show,
especially with the 2 immunity challenge. 2 tribals last week really set up a really different dynamic.
Yeah,
we jumped right to a reward challenge where it was a pretty basic one. You had to turn a wheel. You had to do a quick obstacle course on a balance beam, throw the sandbag on the platform. We're gonna have a t-shirt eventually that's gonna be like, throw a sandbag on a platform. Like, that's literally Survivor. The reward was to spend a night in the sanctuary, get a bunch of food, beer, good night's sleep. One of the biggest comebacks, according to Jeff, he's ever seen, Noel, I wrote during, and this is before the obvious result, but I was like, I'm just feel bad for Noel that these challenges are so obviously tough for a one-legged person. The
Mhm.
balance beam is like tough. She tried to hop it, said it was too tough to hop, had to use it. Her leg was literally falling off. Uh, but she wins. Like great performance. Just before we get to the reward itself, awesome, awesome job.
I agree. It was definitely one of the. I mean, I've seen them all. I would have to agree with him. It's definitely like top five.
Which is awesome. I love getting one of those moments in like a pretty decent season, but again, not one of the best so far, but awesome to have one of those moments. Can kind of hang your hat on that even for the episode.
Mhm.
Um, she gets to pick a bunch of people. This is fun. So she gets to take three. So 4 out of the 8 are going to get to go. Sammy was her first pick, then Jesse, and then Owen. They also get to have letters from home. This is my first kind of like curmudgeon point of the episode. I'm sorry. Look, I know like I'm happily married, friends. I don't have kids. Brian's got kids. Uh, the amount of emotional breakdown these people have for being away for like 19 days is like they've been in a POW camp for like 6 years.
So the thing, Bill, is it's always like that. But it's usually later, like so like it would be like in the high 20s. And they do letters from home and like their loved ones would actually come, which was way cooler to me because they'd also compete in challenges with them, which is that's a whole
Oh,
nother
that's
thing.
awesome.
Yeah, so they had a better dynamic of it. And I understand why people get that's a big deal to them. And there's been people in the past, Bill, which is actually a smart ass move, is you're like, I win the challenge and you just give it to somebody else, then they're like fully indebted to you. So like, Jeff's like, Noelle, you can bring one more. And she's like, okay, I pick this one more. And like, and then the last one you can trade off. And that's how I feel like you can really build like jury management. But
That would be, yeah, give your spot up. Yeah.
yeah, but you obviously that doesn't happen very often, but that would be something I would agree with you. Like I could live because I'm only there for another week. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
it's exactly. It's not like you got another year.
We sound so heartless too, and like,
I'm not
but I
saying
mean,
heartless, but it's just like the emphasis that comes on the tears and all this stuff. It's like
it's just how it is, man. There's people like that. That's
it's like
that's the
they're
opposite
like
of me.
at war, sitting in the trenches, like
I,
getting like
I
they know they're gonna like a
agree.
civil war letter where they know they're gonna get blown up the next day. Like I'm like, oh my god,
Yeah.
oh, and like you're drinking a beer right now and eating pepperoni pizza. Like, relax, but um, the elimination was. I'm sorry, I'm reading. I almost read my survive my challenge notes. The immunity challenge. Again, the immunity challenges I've been enjoying. They've all been like these equalizing endurance kind of brain challenges. This one was one hand you had to hold a rope and steady the board on a pulley. With the other hand, you had to use these kind of like dominoes
Mm,
to build a house of cards up to a point, probably like a couple feet, it seemed like, to break a red arrow point. Really not easy. This one was tough. I
yeah.
like this one too. Has there
Yeah, this
been
is
this
not new. This
challenge
is not a new
before?
challenge. Yes.
New?
No, it's not. They've done it before. It's a newer challenge to build. You're not going to find a lot of new ones, man. They stick. I
I'm
mean,
such a purist.
yeah,
I'm like,
I
new
can tell
one?
you right now, you're going to love next week. Not a new one, but the preview is good. That's a
Jeff's
good one. They haven't don't do it often, but it's very good.
Jeff, I feel like Jeff's the guy like in the neighborhood. He's got this like giant attic and garage with all of his decorations that he pulls out every year. And he's like, "Oh, here I got this challenge. I haven't pulled it out in a while, guys. I got it. It's my
Yeah.
basement." Oh, God, lazy
There's
son.
some good ones like that, Bill, where they have to do like holding something and then like dexterity things like that.
I like that.
That's
I
why
really thought that was a cool
yeah, Kevin
challenge.
and I have always said like the challenges after the merge are so much better, man.
Oh, for
So much
sure.
better, dude.
No, for sure.
Yeah, and good, yo, like you're bringing it up. I mean, I'm gonna actually let you go, and then I'm gonna comment on.
No, good. Yeah, you go.
Well, I just want to say, like,
Talk about the winner.
yeah, like so Cassidy wins, and like this is one of those things that you never would expect her to win, and this is the big. I think this we said she was another sneaky wild card like Gabler.
Cassidy, I think, is like my leader in the house right now. If again, now we know what happens this episode. You had to get rid of Noel. Yeah, you're in
Yeah.
Noel. She was
Mhm.
like the hero vote, right? Like at the end of
Right.
the day, I'm sorry, she's like the one leg Paralympian, all these emotional wins, all these kind of big moments. And a lot of the other people to get there are having to like literally, kind of
Right.
Illuminati it and scheme people's lives out. And so far, a lot of the jury members have not been very happy and taken it super well. At least half and half so far have been upset about what happened to them. The other
Yeah,
half
I
have
mean
been
that's usually how it is, but I agree. It's been a little more
but like, so like if
backstabbing.
I'm like Jesse, I don't want to be with Noel at the end, right? Because people are gonna be like, at the end, are gonna realize like you were the mastermind. Now they can. Some seasons you could tell me, do they tend to more? Does the jury tend to more respect someone that screwed them throughout and be like, you know what, respect the game? Or a lot of times are they like, F you, dude, I'm gonna give it to the nice person who's left with you.
So I think the you need to own what you did, and when people don't own what they did, that's kind of when stuff backfires for them.
Mm-hmm.
Like if
Okay.
you were like, I voted you out, and I'm so like I and you don't need to apologize. Just say like I did it because I needed to do this, and like if you are a fan of this show, you'll understand if you're on the jury. Like okay, like you needed to do it. So you would normally, Bill, if they will respect somebody if they own up. Don't like dance around. Like that's it happened last season. I mean, I think Mike. That's what happened to Mike.
Yep.
He didn't own anything he did, and we give it to Marianne, and it's like same kind of with Amber, or what was her name, Amber, or whoever. I don't remember her name. Doesn't even matter. Bad season. Um, it's the same thing. I mean, if you want, just own what you do is like the what
No,
you need to do.
I think that's a very fair assessment. You know, and I think that's something that later when we get to the vote, something Jesse does
Mhm.
do, gets up right away. It's like, hey, look, it's something I had to do. You know, and I think that like you said, he's playing it pretty straight. We'll get to that in a sec. So Camp Life, I thought this week, pretty damn good. I thought they spent a lot of time on Camp Life. I thought there was a lot of emphasis. Basically, it comes down to, is it going to be Carla or Noel being out?
Mhm.
Sam's kind of the swing vote in a lot of ways. Sammy's kind of playing both sides. A lot of people recognize that, but he does have the ability to kind of swing the numbers. Noel's almost guaranteed win if she makes it to the final three. We've
She
kind of
never was
talked.
gonna make it. Kevin and I said that when we did the preview. Like, great story, but she's never gonna make it.
Yep. I did enjoy how the Camp Life was kind of formatted and narrated by Jesse with the blindside rules by Jesse. Number
Mhm.
one, have a cover story, which was the, hey, why were you talking to him? Oh, I had to give him his idol back.
Right.
Very good cover story. Number two, throw the fall guy under the bus. That was when he ratted on Sammy about like Sammy's reply to something that he actually had said.
Mhm.
Very good move. Number three, have a backup plan, which was talk to Gabler about the blind side. Didn't really consider that a backup plan because he wanted that vote, but it just double insured it,
Yeah.
right? Made it like a
Yeah.
4-2 or 5-3 versus like whatever the thing. It made
Yep.
it like a big buffer of a vote. Um, the Gabler thing with Jesse and Cody going to Gabler, he realizes that they're running the show, realizes that Noel's got to go. They call her a warrior. And like you said in our text, it's like, I'll give you guys credit. You and Kevin, especially, were saying that Gabler has chance to go further in the game. I thought early on he was being too much of a weirdo
He
and doing,
was. He definitely was.
and so I thought he was just going to be an annoyance vote. We've seen that. Like
Yep.
people have done less to get voted out this season, even, you know.
Yes,
So,
definitely.
but like you said, he kind of chilled out. He's kind of seen the bigger picture.
Hmm. Yeah.
People have used him a lot, but he knows that he's being used and doesn't really care. And it's allowed him now. He's in the final seven. I don't see him being a target. If I'm looking at people left on that beach, I don't see him being at least the next two targets, right? If he just keeps his mouth shut, basically.
Yeah, and if he even said this episode, he was said, I don't remember who he said to, but he's like, we got to start looking at Jesse and Cody. I mean, that's two people that, if he even gets one of them, like he's making it the next week. If he gets two,
You
that's
get
two more
Jesse or
weeks.
Cody next week, he makes it to the final four.
Yeah, I agree. And that's a big move. Like he's like, yeah, I noticed this. Like
Well,
that,
everyone noticed it after this week. It was
yeah,
pretty obvious because he also gets up and vocally apologizes to her. Everyone else heard that. They know what everyone knows who voted for who. I hope when we get to the beach next week, it's finally one of those weeks where like after the beginning of the episode where they're not like, why did you do like it just
yeah.
is
It's
basically
always
like,
like
okay,
that,
we
dude.
know who's with who, right? Like
It's
let's just
always
get
like
to
that.
the damn challenge and see what happens, right? Let's see what
Mhm.
the twist is. Like, let's go. And that's what I'm looking forward to next week, honestly. Um, Noelle is the 11th member person voted out of this season of Survivor, and she's now the fourth member of the jury. Seven survivors remain. So it looks like we have we'll get
There's
down to
four more
six, five,
eliminations.
four. We should have about 4 more weeks of Survivor. Um, yeah, about 4 more weeks, five max, but I think it'll be four because the finale is usually like 2 hours. So
Yeah, I'm
about
wondering,
four
Bill,
more.
if they'll do like 1 week, so maybe Survivor, or we'll end a week early before Amazing Race because they're gonna have to both do a 2 hour, I think. So
I think
keep that in
Amazing
mind.
Race, we have five teams left. So
So they might end a week earlier,
I
and
think
that could
Amazing
give the
Race will
two
end the
hour,
week before Survivor.
which is
But
good. I
anyway,
mean, that's good.
if you kind of notice, we're talking about, we cover all the Wednesday night CBS and Paramount Plus shows, Survivor, Amazing Race, and Love, The Real Love Boat on Paramount Plus. We've just finished up The Bachelor in Paradise on ABC. Look out next week. We're going to be doing the Love and Hip Hop Reunion All-Star Edition. Also, Below Deck, and basically anything else that pops up. It's kind of a little slow season in December, but anything that comes out, The Circle does premiere in December, and then The Bachelor is back in January. So just pay attention, hit the notification bell, and you'll see videos that pop basically daily on the channel. But for myself and Brian, thank you. Peace.